Jim Harrington from Texas Civil Rights Project just won a lawsuit. Did you follow that at all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, about the baby DNA
Yeah,
that they were doing without parents' knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, so stuff like that is exactly what I'm worried about heading into Erickson.
I can only say...
And that's the problem.
Okay.
I don't want to have to bring lawsuits to enforce that.
Well,
I would rather do
right.
it here than have lawsuits.
And again, I'm hopeful this process will continue. We'll look at those issues very, very critically. I don't intend, at least as terms of Public Safety Commission, that we end the issue and not come back to it, but rather we'll come back to it repeatedly. That's what I think our job is.
Right. Well, I think there's issues with the way that the commission is constituted, and if you look at an environmental board, for instance, I mean there's a lot of environmentalists on the environmental board. There aren't any privacy people. I guess I don't know the commission coach privacy guy. Only I know about is a judge. So, but
In terms of what I've heard him say, he would be the closest to it.
yes, and so, but that's 1 out of 7.
Right.
So what we don't really see is we don't see the same kind of balance where we would see where someone like SOS, they have a voice in the environmental board. I mean, however, whether or not they're entirely happy with how those things go, they do have some voice on the commission's. And that's a core problem.
I agree with your observations. The issue becomes then one of what the individual city council members decide to do. And I must tell you, my phone is always available. If Joe Cole says, "Hey, Mike, it would be nice for you to move on," I would say, "Oh no, fine." But maybe add people. But again, I can't replicate what Ramey is able to do because that's not my bag.
But I got to tell you something though, sir.
I got to go. So, because I got a long one.
The closest thing that I've seen to what I just saw here today, you can watch this on YouTube. It was a hearing in a community against pharmaceuticals having to do with kids, school shooters, and the fact that they're on Prozac, they're on Ritalin, and so forth, and then the drug. Yeah, and you had all these parents and so forth going up in front of this board and telling about how they lost their kid and everything. And everybody, the whole audience is composed of individuals like that had some kind of horror story like that. And the people on the panel were all pharmaceutical related. And they voted unanimously against the motion and screw everybody in the audience. Because of their vested interests and so forth, But in terms of having a whole panel in total unanimous agreement except for one guy on something that everybody in the audience is against, that's the only other time that I've ever seen that.
I can only say that you as an audience are one part of the city of Austin. Don't represent all the city of Austin. So, I have to make my decision relative to you all and other people that I encounter. And that's how I made my decision. And I'll say this. I urge you all to stay involved because I think that running a safe fusion center is a very, very difficult thing to do. I worry about it a great deal. I think I can argue why there's a need for it. But at least as long as I'm on the commission, I want to be very concerned about what they're doing, how they're aggregating the data, who is working with that. I feel good about the Austin Police. I don't know many of these other police departments. We could have a lot of rogue officers out there.
I got to tell you something else, sir. Don't let the fact that we might all be from the same organization make you think that we all agree on a whole bunch of stuff, because we don't. Okay, we represent a lot. We represent a lot of different interests and a lot of different parts of the community and so on and so forth.
Well, I will only say is I'm listening. I think that the city council watches what goes on. They may think as a result, gee, those people really didn't do a good job and think this through.
I'm not really putting my best hopes on the Austin City Council, to be honest with you.
Well, then I would urge you to stay involved on this thing because, I think that at least some of us, not all of us, I think all of us, feel that we can understand what is going on.
Yeah.
We'll continue to try. And I will respond on your concern